Now, IMCI people, when you talk about IMCI, I would like to first introduce what was the reason why they introduced IMCI. What was the impetus of introducing IMCI? I would want you to look at this graph. Okay. Now, um, in the year 1999, when this study was conducted, people, there has been a lot of deaths, okay, all over the world for children aged 5 years old below. Okay, so one of the rationale for introducing IMCI is the significant number of childhood deaths occurring worldwide. As a matter of fact, there are 10 million children who die before their fifth birthday. Now, what do we or what can we glean from that? 7 out of 10 of those deaths occur mainly because of acute respiratory illnesses, particularly pneumonia. Other diseases that play a part in the said mortality is diarrhea, measles, malaria, and malnutrition. Or in some cases, they are a combination of these conditions. Okay, most of the children are actually underweight because being underweight or being malnourished is considered a comorbidity for deaths, and most of them are actually malnourished when they died. Now, most sick children present with signs and symptoms related to more than one of these conditions that you can see here. In some cases, they overlap. So what happens? Why do they die? It's simple. This particular instances or this particular incidence of diseases, we could actually prevent them from dying if only one, they are properly assessed, and two, they are properly treated. Abay, kung magagamot yan, kung ma-assess yan properly, hindi yan mamamatay. Pero bakit nangyayari yun? Because prior to IMCI, there was no standard way of dealing or treating this particular illnesses. Okay? So if you look at the graph, the leading cause of death among children under 5 years old is pneumonia in the year 2000. And due to the introduction of IMCI in 1992, this has actually been reduced already, but still, it's still one of the leading causes of death. Childhood deaths in the country and other developing countries are mostly due to preventable causes. Two-thirds of those deaths could actually be prevented by simple interventions, which I will be teaching you today. Okay, so because of these particular reasons, my dear children, IMCI was introduced. What are the different features of IMCI? Now, when you talk about IMCI, okay, there are several advantages for adopting IMCI. First, it is not dependent on sophisticated and expensive technologies. Why? Because the focus of IMCI is on the primary level, on the level of the health center. And as you well know, in the health center, we do not have equipment. We do not have that much manpower, and we do not have, laboratories, visualization equipment, etc. So instead of resorting to those particular sophisticated and expensive technologies, we just employ IMCI. Okay? Second, a more integrated approach to managing sick children. It is an integrated approach because instead of giving a separate treatment for each symptom or using a specific disease-specific guideline, we use an intervention that is designed, okay, to 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 be standard, meaning isa lang ang gagamitin mong intervention kung yun ang makikita mo, kung yun ang maa-assess mo. It doesn't necessarily need to be a case-to-case basis for intervention. So for example, you see someone with pneumonia, you treat them based on what you have assessed to treat pneumonia. Okay? So you will understand that more in a bit. Okay? Third, IMCI moves beyond addressing single diseases to addressing the overall health and well-being of the children. Why? As I've mentioned earlier, this particular preventable diseases usually have comorbidities, and usually they are present in one particular child. So instead of just focusing, for example, on pneumonia, we focus on the overall well-being of the child. If the child has pneumonia and the child has malnutrition and the child has ear infection, we treat them all. We address them all, not just one particular disease. Okay? Kasi everything is interconnected. Tama ba? Hindi or one particular illness might result from a previous known particular condition. So that's it. Diba? So we address everything using IMCI. Okay? Other features of IMCI is that if you remember your health assessment in nursing, it involves, or IMCI is going to involve a lot of assessment, a lot of careful and systematic assessment, which then you will need your knowledge in health assessment from, or your cephalocaudal assessment that is applied to children below 5 years old. Okay? So that this is going to serve as your guide when you give out specific interventions as outlined in the IMCI. Okay? So, dito gagamitin nyo yung inyong health assessment so that you would know kung ang bata ba ay may pneumonia, may diarrhea, may measles, may malaria, may dengue, diba? May anemia, or may ear problem. Okay? What else? Your IMCI will integrate management of the most common childhood problems. What are the most common childhood problems of children under 5? Not only in the Philippines, but all over the world. Specifically, they are pneumonia, diarrhea, measles, malaria, dengue, malnutrition, anemia, and ear problems. Sir, bakit walang TB? Okay, TB is considered one of the major health diseases prevalent in the country. However, your TB will not cause immediate death to a child. But this here will do. Okay? So, yun po yun. Kaya, hindi natin isinama yung TB sa IMCI. Right? Now, your IMCI will also include preventive interventions. Okay? For one, the health worker gives the mother follow-up care. The health worker will give the baby additional immunizations as soon as the danger of the signs have resolved. Kasi as you well know, from the previous lesson, one of the contraindications of immunizing a child is, diba, a pre-existing condition or a disease process. And most of those contraindications would actually stem from diseases outlined in IMCI, this one here. So kung maayos na, magawa mo na yung interventions mo, pwede mo na siya ulit bakunahan. Diba? Preventive interventions would also include the endorsement of breastfeeding as the best food for infants. Yun po yun. Okay? So, moving on, ayan. Another very good reason to adopt IMCI is your IMCI actually adjusts to what you have. Okay? Yung IMCI ninyo will take an evidence-based syndromic approach, meaning it's going to treat what you can see, it's going to treat what you can assess, and usually the rationale of those particular interventions adhere to the effective use of drugs and tools, of which in the community it is very limited. Diba sa community wala kang laboratory, sa community wala kang clinical resources. Ano lang ang meron ka? O tandaan nyo ha, sa community limitado. For example, sa gamot. What are the only medications, specifically antibiotics, that the community has? We have amoxicillin and cotrimoxazole. Yun lang ang meron ka. Other than that, for stronger antibiotics, you will need to refer the child to a hospital. Kasi we need to work with what we have. That's the reason why IMCI will adjust to the curative interventions that are present in the community. Okay? Another, your IMCI, the beauty of IMCI is that it's going to involve family members in the care process of the child. Diba? Why? Because in the community, when they seek consult, the family members, specifically the mother, are usually taught, one, on how to administer the different drugs that that the baby or the child is going to be using, and two, you are actually going to need to teach the mother on how to assess the child. Mami, ito ang danger signs. Mami, pag nakita mo to, pumunta ka dito. Ganon, di ba? So, anong maganda doon? Ang maganda doon, the community is mobilized, okay, to ensure that there is, one, a clean, and two, a safe environment for their children. So sila na mismo ang na-empower because we are actually teaching them. Okay? So knowing the features of IMCI, it is also good to be able to understand this better. Bakit ka may IMCI? What are the objectives of your integrated management of childhood illness? One, because it addresses the very common causes of illnesses and mortality among children, syempre, you reduce deaths. Or, in the long run, if the baby gets treated, you reduce the severity of the illness or disabilities that might result from those particular conditions. And syempre, since the baby is going to be healthy, you contribute to the improved growth and development of the child. Yon ang objective ng ating IMCI. Now, your IMCI, as given to us by the WHO and the DOHO, IMCI was introduced by the WHO, okay, in 1992. Okay, the Philippines is not the only country who is or who has adopted IMCI. This is present all over the world in the primary care level. When we talk about primary care level, it is on the level of the health center. Okay, it's on the level of the health center. Now, as it is, because it is at the level of the health center, okay, the workers in that particular health center will need to be trained. Dito ngayon papasok yung IMCI components. One, we need to be able to improve the case management skills of health workers. When will this begin? Okay. The DOH, or the Department of Health, okay, has tapped the help of the different agencies in the Philippines in order for us to train people on how to use IMCI. Okay. Historically, IMCI began in 1992 but was only adopted in the Philippines by 1997. Alam nyo ba na ang IMCI ay 2009 lang lumabas sa board exam? I took the board 2006. So during my time, wala pang IMCI. Okay? But come 2009, pumasok ang IMCI sa board exam ng nurses. And year after year after year, lagi na siyang lumalabas. Bakit ko to sinasabi? Kasi by the mandate of the DOH, when they adopted IMCI, it tapped or asked CHED for help. And you well know that CHED is responsible for college education in the Philippines. That is the reason why IMCI is now taught in nursing schools. Okay? As early as nursing school, tinuturo ang IMCI po ninyo. Ayun. Para at least, madali na siyang ma-adapt, may idea na yung mga bata kung paano ginagawa yung IMCI. Okay? Now, part of component number 1, which is the improvement of case management skills of health worker, is to give out the standard guidelines for IMCI. I am going to discuss this on a recorded lecture, which I will give the link later because that particular lecture is very, very long. Okay po? So, they give out specific standard guidelines. They give out trainings. They give out follow-ups. And we usually teach the role of private providers or what are these private providers going to do in the case management of IMCI. Kasi ganito, IMCI is used in the community. Now, if hindi kaya ng community, we will need to refer them to hospitals. ano ang gagawin ngayon ng ospital? Iba yung protocol kasi nila. But to promote continuity of care, they need to know IMCI also. So that when we refer a case to them, they would know what to do. Okay? So improving case management skills of health workers. The second component is when we use IMCI, we need to improve the health system so that we could deliver IMCI better. Okay? Under this component are the provisions and management of essential drug supplies. We must ensure that there is or there are drug supplies so that we would be able to implement the interventions that are given to us by IMCI. Pangalawa, we need to be able to organize health facilities. We will need to be able to manage and supervise health workers. And the most important thing in IMCI is that we need to have an effective referral system. Because like what I've mentioned, pag hindi na natin kaya at the primary level of the healthcare center, we refer to the hospital. Okay? Pangatlong component ng IMCI is to improve family and community health practices. Now, there are different subcomponents of the improvement of family and community practices. I will discuss them one by one. First, for physical growth and mental development. Okay, so improving family and community practices under this component, the first purpose is to address the physical growth and mental development of the child. And this is going to entail activities such as, primary prevention, health education on breastfeeding, complementary feeding, micronutrient supplementation, and psychosocial stimulation. So what we do here is we do health teaching. Di ba? Kasi yun naman ang primary responsibility ng nurses, especially in the community setting. Di ba? Health promotion. Okay? So to improve family and community practices, we do health promotion, we do health teaching, which is going to include topics for this: breastfeeding, complementary feeding, micronutrient supplementation, and psychosocial stimulation. Pangalawa, to improve family and community practices, we also will address disease prevention. Again, this is going to encompass activities such as, we do bakuna or immunization or EPI. We teach them sanitary disposal of feces. We teach them hand washing. We teach them the use of, different equipment like insecticide-treated bed nets to prevent dengue hemorrhagic fever. We teach them best practices for dengue prevention and control. So again, it's going to involve health teaching for disease prevention. And, ayan pa, we will also need to do health teaching on the appropriate or basic skills for home health care, such as how to feed the child or continuous feeding, how to properly increase fluids so that the child could intake more, especially in cases of diarrhea with dehydration, and of course, appropriate home treatment for the particular diseases that we will be tackling. Okay? This part here is for seeking care. The last subcomponent of component number 3 is for seeking care. So this fourth purpose, it addresses, health-seeking behavior. So we will need to teach them when should the mother seek care, how should the mother follow our advice or pieces of advice, and when to seek prenatal and postnatal care or postpartum care. So basically, okay, the first components of the IMCI would dwell on the promotion of health. Kasi if we are going to be able to reduce the instances wherein the disease is halted or stopped on its tracks, then mas maganda, walang magiging bata na magkakaroon ng sakit. Di ba? So wala kang gagamitan ng IMCI. Kung doon pa lang, you stop it on its tracks. Okay? But in the event that these particular components were not effective, we will need to employ IMCI. And the target group for your IMCI are as follows. Okay? We usually divide them into two groups. Okay? The first group is the sick young infant. This particular sick young infants are aged 1 week up to 2 months. And the second is 2 months up to 5 years. Tandaan nyo po, IMCI is only used for children below 5 years old. Bakit po? Ganito. Kasi IMCI will give out specific um, volumes of medications, specific ways of assessing the children under 5. If the patient or the client is above 5 years old, it is going to throw off your assessment kasi iba na ang vital signs yan. Iba na ang assessment yan. Iba na ang kailangan niya na medication or the medication or the volume of medication that they need is going to be different from the child below 5. Diba? That's the reason why we only cater to children 5 years old below. Sir, if you have been eagle-eyed enough, why don't we cater from the child who is just born up to 1 week? We call them neonates. Why? Because for the first week of life, there are special problems. Diba? And according to literature, according to community health literature, these particular problems 1 week below will not be our concern. It is going to be the concern of the people who were responsible for delivery and puerperium. Yung OB nung mommy, hindi sa community setting. Nakukuha nyo? They have their own problems. And it is not the concern of the CHN nurse. Yan. Okay? So those are our two target groups.